You're now listening to
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. It's an engaging and enlightening talk show on life, relationships, and the business of life. Grab a cup of juice and just chill. Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. Live life. Live fully.
Now, here's your host.
Good to have you once again. This is Omobola Stephen, the host of Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. Now, on Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen, we like to focus on topics covering personal development and self-improvement with expert and professionals who are adept in these topics. We have come to value the importance of embracing personal development and self-improvement along the course of our lives, because in embracing such, we get to find ourselves along the way, and we also realize that there's so much innate potentials and possibilities that lie within us and that we can actually take possession of if we don't give up. Now, personal development and self-improvement is not going to happen overnight. It's a constant work that you and I need to continue to do in order for us to see our life transformed as we truly desire it to be. Today on the show, I have Mandee Bowsmith, who is an experienced HR professional. And now we'll be talking more about tech-enhanced humanity. Welcome to the show with me, Mandee Bowsmith.
Thank you so much. I'm so pleased to be here.
Pleased to have you once again, Mandee. Now, your HR focuses on creativity, innovation, and technology. You also focus on developing their most valuable asset, which is people.
Absolutely. My work that I currently do, my company Blue Note Resources, stems from a 24-year career in human resources in government, in municipal government and in state government in the United States, and understanding that there are a lot of people have a perception of human resources that we're the bad guy, and that we're the ones that are going to do the dirty work. And so one of the things that I focus on is putting the humanity back in human resources, but also putting the humanity back in leadership is a big focus of mine. And one of the reasons I say that is my experience as an HR professional. We tend in a lot of industries, government is, I'm speaking from the government perspective, we tend not to focus on professional development for our employees. We tend to, when budgets are cut, the first thing that goes is professional development dollars, training dollars. We don't reinvest in our humans, in our organizations. And it's really a shame, because what is our largest asset as an employee? Our human capital is the largest asset we have. And one of the things that I'm focused on is helping leaders be more human in their leadership, but also helping people in terms of their professional development, really develop a more human interaction with their superiors and with their subordinates, so that what you get is a well-working team that feels valued. And we know when people feel valued in an organization, they do whatever you need them to do without complaint. It's a way to live a frictionless life in a work environment just by being human.
Absolutely. Now, we'll be talking about tech-enhanced humanity. Now, such an interesting topic to have you share your expertise on balancing innovation with human needs in HR. So let's begin with this question. What innovative technologies are revolutionizing HR? And how do you think that leaders can leverage on them?
So the first thing I think that we should mention are new and improved, updated CRM systems, or what we call enterprise-wide human resources software systems. We're seeing today in 2024 a huge digitization of human resources in terms of onboarding paperwork, in terms of, bringing somebody into a company. A lot of that has to do with sort of leaps in technology we had to make during COVID, but we're seeing more robust human resources management systems, or HRIS, human resources information systems. So that's thing number one. And within that, you see paperwork, you see acknowledgments and trainings, acknowledgments for policies and procedures where employees have sort of a one-stop shop dashboard where they're allowed to go in, figure out if they have mandatory training coming up, maybe, or sign up for classes they'd like to take. They can look at their paycheck, they can look at their leave balances, those kinds of things. But more robust versions of this also have things like employee assistance program offerings and work-life balance offerings. Another thing we're seeing in the workspace, and you probably have talked about this with a lot of your guests, is the emergence of open artificial intelligence. And I don't mean open in the sense of, I guess I mean overt rather than open. We've had artificial intelligence working for us for a long time in the background in software programs that a lot of organizations have used for many years. It's not a new concept. What is a new concept is bringing it out into the open for end user employees to use. So for example, ChatGPT, that's something that most people are familiar with. Leveraging artificial intelligence software to help individuals do their jobs, not to replace individuals, right? That's not what we're talking about, but to help people do their jobs. One of the key features of AI, as I use it, is as a research tool. Give me a place to start on this research topic. Give me a couple of things that I need to look up if let's say I'm researching leadership opportunities, or let's say I'm researching professional development training courses that I might be able to take. Using ChatGPT is a way to give you a start. It's also a way to help with quick analysis, so that what you end up with summaries, and then you have an analyst, a human, go in, read that, and really synthesize it for a group or for a team or a project. Those are two very big trends in tech innovation right now that are occurring, that I think are important to leverage for organizations, especially in terms of their human resources folks.
Now, I like the fact that you mentioned AI along the course of your discussion. But really, when we look at some successful HR innovation in 2024, like AI-based recruitment tools, we also talk about digital onboarding. And really, can we record any successful or success rate with these innovations?
Oh, yes. It's interesting because the success rate, number one, with new hires completing their onboarding process is really too good to be true. I mean, it's upwards of 90% of the folks completing it. In addition, you see a higher rate of people completing their mandatory training when they come on as a new employee. And you see an increased rate in people's engagement in sort of the, if your employer has something like Microsoft Teams or Microsoft SharePoint or something, Slack, perhaps, you see a greater engagement right off the bat of people engaging with those digital platforms to talk to their coworkers. It's a very interesting thing. It's very effective because there's less friction in a digital environment, delivering information digitally or allowing somebody to store items digitally. There's less friction than, oh my goodness, I misplaced this piece of paper. I misplaced my file. Right? It's very easy to just sign into your computer terminal and find everything there. So we've experienced great success with it.
Absolutely, great sources. But we also know that there are other challenges that we face in tech innovation, especially in HR and the needs that HR have. So do you have any possibility, or do you see any possibility of overcoming them?
Do I see the possibility that there are going to be coming problems?
No, the question is, we also have challenges in tech innovation and HR needs.
Yeah.
So I'd like to ask you if there are any possibilities in overcoming these challenges.
Oh, absolutely. I think, one of the amazing things about technology in terms of human resources is the ability to recruit worldwide. And if you have an employer that allows remote work, you have millions of candidates to choose from with varying degrees of education, with varying skill sets, knowledge, skills, and abilities that they bring to the table. It's really quite exciting. The one thing I would say is where we need to get better as human resources professionals using technology, especially if we have folks that are working remotely that we work with, is the idea that humans still need connection. We still need to be able to connect with one another. And whether that's through Zoom, whether that's through Teams, whether that's through a chat program like Slack or something like that, we still need to connect with other humans. And so building in ways that that connection can still exist to maintain the humanity is exceedingly important. And that's one of the things that I think is going to get more challenging as time goes on and as more people are working remotely. How do we maintain that human connection that you really can only get interacting one-on-one with people or in a room with people?
Absolutely, that's just something I would like to talk about, because when we even talk about technology, we also come to realize the other side of the flip side of it. Also, we can show the importance of traditional way of connecting aside remote, because we know that COVID-19 also brought in a lot of remote work. But nevertheless, do you think that traditional way of connecting and the woman side of connecting, do you think is it can beat up what technology is offering at this time?
I think it can, but I think that there are certainly things that we can do better as employers to foster engagement with employees and to foster that connection. A lot of employers don't tend to foster sort of social interaction. And I don't mean social interaction like, going out to dinner, going out on the town, whatever, but social interaction, chats between employees, talking between employees. Some employers I've worked with discourage sort of idle chatter in their offices or over their chat bot or whatever. And I think that sort of sends a sense of isolation to employees. You really want to encourage connection. And how do we connect with people? We connect with people by finding common ground. Like we connect with people. If I find out that somebody has children, I will offer that I also have children. And perhaps, there's a common ground there that we can talk about our children. What sports are they doing? What are they interested in? Those kinds of things. So then you can find a way to speak with your coworkers and with your management or your subordinates. I think it's something that needs to be encouraged, especially in an environment that is mostly remote. That connection needs to be encouraged. We have tools. Zoom is a great tool. Teams is a great tool. Those chat applications are great tools. We just need to encourage it and really destigmatize it. Say it's okay to interact with your coworkers. It's okay to have those conversations, because at the end of the day, if somebody's work is getting done, if the bottom line work is being met and it's being done well, does it matter that they spent 20 minutes chatting with their coworker about their son's baseball game? No, it doesn't. What matters is that the productivity is there and that the organization is succeeding and that employee feels some sense of satisfaction because they have connected with somebody.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mandee, for that brilliant explanation. And now, really, in your professional expertise, your professional experience, what are the most effective strategies for resolving human needs in HR?
Oh, number one, above everything, communication. Communication. We don't teach people in their everyday employment. We don't give people communication training. We usually send people to training about communication when they've done something and it's kind of a punishment, right? We're not proactive about teaching people how to have difficult communications, how to resolve conflict. So communication. The other thing I'm stealing from Brené Brown, because it is absolutely to clarity. clarity is kindness. And that is so, so true. If you are able to articulate clearly your message, and if you are able to gauge whether your message was received, it is so effective in problem solving, in conflict resolution, in having people be heard. Another piece that I want to touch on is leaders need to not be afraid to talk to their staff. They need to not be afraid to engage in conversations with their teams. There's sort of this mythos of a stoic, above it all leader that just, they just are there and they don't speak to their employees. They don't interact with them. And they're really just there to do these, administrative leadership tasks. I would argue it's the exact opposite. I would argue a leader should be in the middle of their team, talking to their team. Who is on your team? Who are these people? What do they do? What are they good at? What do they like to do? What don't they like to do? That's important. Having a weekly check-in with your subordinate team. If you have an immediate subordinate team, have a weekly check-in with each member. And it doesn't even have to be like, are you meeting your goals? Are you meeting your key performance indicators? It's, how are you doing? Do you like your job? Is this where you want to be? Do you see yourself in a different department in 5 years? How can I help you get there? Right? Being interested in your employees as a leader is so important. And it's so important to communicate that and to make sure that you are establishing a place where your employees feel that they are valued, but also that they would be listened to. If they had a problem, if they had something that they needed to talk to you about, that you have a door that's open and they feel comfortable enough, make a safe space that allows them to come talk to you. That really, both from a leadership standpoint and a human resources standpoint, is key. Communication and clarity. That's key.
All right. Now, knowing the needs of both the leaders and also the teams, how does Maslow's hierarchy of needs apply to the HR department of an organization?
That's interesting because I think it's an interesting concept. I think we all know sort of that Maslow's hierarchy of needs has sort of morphed into, food, shelter, safety, and Wi-Fi, right? So it's ever evolving, but I think that it's feeling safe, right? That safety piece of the hierarchy of needs is truly important in our lives, everywhere we are. And since we spend most of our waking hours at work, right, away from our families, away from our loved ones, at work, we want to feel that that environment is safe and that we have the ability to thrive within it. And so really catering to, and I don't mean catering like in the pandering sense, but catering to people's sense of well-being, allowing work-life balance, allowing the environment to be one where ideas are heard, where creativity can live, giving people the space to be creative and to be innovative, and giving them a platform upon which they can say, hey, I've got this harebrained idea. What do you think? And having them not be shamed for an idea, not be, told that this is not part of your job, but to have people listen and be like, well, actually, that's a great idea. Maybe we put together a meeting to see if we can accomplish something like that. The interaction, right? The interaction is key.
All right, Mandee, my audience will be excited to learn of any important projects you think it's going to be beneficial to them in the long run, perhaps. And you have also an exciting news that you'd like to share with the audience. This is just the right time to do so.
Thank you. I appreciate the platform to be able to say this. So one of the things, as I said earlier, one of the things that we don't do very well is prepare people for leadership. especially in government. We end up with somebody who's, let's say, been a plumber for 30 years, and they're a very, very good plumber. They do their job very well. But because they're the last person standing, they end up becoming the leader of the department. They don't know a thing about leading a department, but they're a great plumber. And so, right, we elevate them to this position, but we don't give them the professional development tools or the background to be able to address problems that are going to come up for any leader, right? Also, people seem to be chosen for leadership. People seem to be chosen for leadership in a lot of ways. You'll go into an office environment and you'll see who the quote golden child is. You'll see who the person is who gets the most attention. And they also seem to get the most training opportunities, the most professional development opportunities, because they've been identified by leadership or by somebody along the way as somebody who has leadership potential. But what about these other people, right? There are other people on the team that both could have leadership potential, maybe they want to lead, and are really wanting the chance to engage in training, to understand the new leadership jargon, right? Because I don't know about you, but I've had leaders that go away to conferences and they come back and they're speaking a completely different language because there's a new professional jargon out there, right? Well, what I'm offering, what I'm working on right now is affordable, accessible courses. 2 basic leadership courses offered at an affordable price that are virtual, that talk generally about communication, clarity, that talk about what a leader is and what a leader is not, that talk about critical thinking, creative thinking, strategic thinking, that talk about how to interpret policies and procedures, ordinances, rules, regulations, collective bargaining agreements, how to handle difficult people. These really basic leadership tools that I think are important for any employee to have. I also think, by the way, that leadership should be included in mandatory trainings that we do for new employees. But so I'm building this program to offer accessible and affordable training for anybody who wants to take the training. And then after that, I will be working on something I'm calling right now Supervisory College. And that is sort of an extended leadership program that dives deeper into certain problems that I've seen come up time and time again as an HR professional working with new supervisors. My goal here is to equalize the playing field for leadership training, to equalize what people know, and to show folks you don't need an MBA, you don't need a suit and tie, you just need a couple of training tools, and you need to be able to engage in the conversation with somebody to learn these tools. Anybody can be a leader. And it's not just a leader at your employer, it's a church leader, a leader in your home, a leader in your community. Anybody can be a leader.
Brilliant. Thanks for sharing that with my audience. We sincerely wish you the best of luck in this project, Mandee, and in also subsequent projects that you embark upon. Would you like to share your social media handles and your website?
Certainly. You can find me at bluenoteresources.com. You can also find me on Facebook under Mandee Bowsmith or under Blue Note Resources. And all of my socials are listed on my website. I would love to have folks come visit me, reach out to me. You can email me. I'm really happy to engage with folks. I also have a LinkedIn profile and try my best to engage with folks there. And I appreciate the opportunity to talk about putting humanity back in leadership and interacting with folks on a better level. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thanks so much. Once again, I'm Mandee Bowsmith, you're an experienced HR professional. Thanks for joining me on the show and for sharing your expertise, especially talking about enhanced humanity, how we can balance innovation with human needs in HR. Once again, we wish you best of luck in all your projects, Mandee.
Thank you.
It's Omobola Omobola Stephen. Now, if you'd like to catch up with any of these episodes of the show, you can do so on any cross-promotion platforms or any podcast distribution platforms you bump into online, and do have a great time. Until I come your way, I always need you to stay safe. I talk to you soon. Take care. Thank you once again, Mandee. That was a great show we had.
Thank you very much.